see. I don't freaking know. This is pissing me off already. So, streaming on YouTube right now to work on this thing. Having trouble with filament slipping. Filament slipping is going to be your extrusion situation, not hot end, most likely. Looking back in chat here to make sure to see what I missed. Benefits of upgrading an Ender 3 instead of buying a better printer. Learning and just seeing what is up with the machine, working on learning how the machine operates so you know how to repair it or what could be the issues you're going to have, and saving money. A lot of machines will cost you significantly more. Like, there's a Prusa back there. That thing is $800 to buy the DIY kit. An Ender 3 can be had for 150 bucks, and you can do a lot of upgrades for that money. So there's a lot of things to be considered there. All right, folks. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know why, but the stream dropped out for no apparent reason. And we are live again. I'm probably going to delete the previous one, so anybody who's checking in on this live stream won't know what's going on. Anyway, in this one, we're going to be upgrading this Creality Ender 3 with a Robin Nano mainboard from the folks at Makerbase. Is it important to have dual Z's on an Ender 3? I say no. The problem that people run into is sag on the Ender 3 and like on the Z-axis, or well, the Y-axis. No, X-axis. Jeez, I might as well cover every base. No, I don't think dual Z is important. And if you don't have dual Z drivers, if you're running both of them off of one stepper driver, you're actually going to be creating issues, in my opinion, that you wouldn't have otherwise. So let me change cameras here, and then I'll show you what we're looking at. This is the Robin Nano mainboard that I'm installing in this Creality Ender 3 here. So Robin Nano from Makerbase V3. We're going to be installing this so I can run Dual Extruders on this machine. And yeah, all right, let's get to this work, because I've got to tear this thing down. We're not going to get this printing in the stream, unfortunately. I would love to. Ah, man. Sorry about the music, folks. Always with the fricking music. I need to figure out what happened to the other stream. I have no idea. I looked over. YouTube said the stream was going perfectly fine. And like right now it says no data for no apparent reason. YouTube seems to be flaky today. I don't know why. Sorry about the music, folks. It seems I can never have a stream without it going haywire. Folks on TikTok, if you want to check out the whole setup. Advantages of the Robin Nano board versus the Silent board in the Creality Ender 3. For 99% of people, none. Do not do this swap. I had to completely custom design the swap that I'm going to be doing here. Because Nobody else that I could find had put an Robin Nano into an Ender 3. And here's the thing. I'm doing it because I'm going to Dual Extruders on this thing, so I can run the Phaetus TaiChi setup. And, Nick, what do you do about the direct drive? The slicer does not understand nor care about its direct drive. The only thing you need to change for the Focus Tech Odin 3, as far as direct drive is concerned, is retraction tuning. That's it. But you should be doing retraction testing anyway, so yeah. How does resin printing work? That is far too complicated for me to get into. What slicer do you use? Prusa slicer. Highly recommend Prusa slicer. Okay, now I gotta get focusing on tearing this thing down, so sorry folks, but the chat is gonna get ignored for a little bit, except on YouTube. So, if you wanna see the full stream of what's going on here, head over to YouTube and let's tear into this thing. We are tearing down this Creality Ender 3, so I can swap it out for the Robin Nano mainboard, which literally at the moment just means tearing everything off of it. Oh, I gotta get down to a bare chassis of, well, removing the mainboard electronics and such, and then we will go from there. Let's switch cameras. All right. Display disconnected and popping off. This is going away. I'm going to be using a LCD from the folks at Makerbase on this one. There's the tear off thing. We're going to be using the TS35. TS35 V2 is the screen we're going to be using on this thing. I'm going to mount it on the other side closer to the main board than the display side like it normally is on an Ender 3. Set these screws aside so I don't lose them. Alright, that cable serves me no purpose anymore. I'm sure you said it 1,000 times. What 3D printer do you recommend for a starter machine? I've said it so many times that I've made a little sign to hold up that says Creality Ender 3. It's kind of a running joke at this point. That's a question I get asked so much. It's fun to tear things down. You don't have to do shit. Oh, well, tear them down when you know you're not going to be putting all the pieces back onto the machine. Can I ask for some help from you? Yes, go ahead. Whoa, you found a website liquidating 4.2.7 boards for $25 a piece. That is killer. Your friend did join Patreon. Thank you very much for recommending that they do. Anybody who is interested in that, patreon.com/HotRodHippie is my current Patreon. I should really consider renaming it to Mandic Really, since it's more so that at this point, but... I think my number 2-bit is currently missing. Of course. Let's grab it from the other kit. That's not it. There it is. Number 2. How can you reset an Ender 3 Pro mainboard? Reflash the firmware to a new configuration. You can reflash the same configuration onto the mainboard, and that will allow you as arguably be a factory reset. You're having a lot of problems getting the CR Touch to home properly. Most likely your problem is Z probe offset, but I can't say for sure what issue you are having. So that is coming off. Little mainboard cover here. First knew you as the Hot Rod Hippie. Loved the content. I loved making the content, but honestly, it is so extremely time intensive and money intensive that it's been really difficult to get back to making that content because it just doesn't pay the bills. So like, it's basically knowing that I'm throwing money away, and that really sucks. You're having trouble printing the arrowhead, and 2 new Ender 5 Pros. Can they use BL Touch? Yes, they should be able to. All right. Well, now we got to get this off of here. Nope, wrong size. Let's go with the number 3, I believe this is. Time delay on here is so much worse. I know, I don't know why it's so far off on this. Today, like, the latency of the stream from when I'm talking to you folks versus, like, when it's actually going is kind of wild. I don't understand. I've got an excellent connection speed, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, but here we are. RepWrap is a different firmware. There are various firmwares. The firmware that a standard Creality machine runs is called Marlin. It is based on Marlin firmware anyway. And RepWrap is just a different one. Though RepWrap Project is a whole different animal. Alright. You folks see anything I'm doing? Let's try. Okay. No. Tried printing the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con cup, but it didn't work. What didn't work about it? That's the important thing. What didn't work? Ha! Disconnecting all the connections and just going crazy with them. Because I need them all out of the way. End stops, thermistors. I don't care about any of you. Luckily on the Creality machines, they are pretty well labeled, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. 4.2.7, touchscreen and CR Touch. No, I've never tried the touchscreen from Creality. I don't care for touchscreens personally. So I haven't tried it. All right. Main power is my last serious connection in here. CCE3D Filament. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. So maybe I should look into it. Anybody else tried their stuff? Is this number 2 or 1.5? I forget. 2. This stream should actually be a bit of a good test run for this new setup that I have running here. Because next week, I think we're going to be starting the Voron V0 build. Opinions on Clipper. My opinions on Clipper are the community that is surrounds Clipper is kind of toxic. But overall, the Clipper firmware seems to be really cool, interesting, and I'm going to be running it on my Voron V0. I'm just not looking forward to having to deal with community that runs Clipper. Not the folks who create Clipper, just the people around it. Like, so many people are so extremely opinionated about Clipper that it just gets hard to deal with, I guess you could say. Alright, those connections are out. Ah, there's the missing one. I knew there's one more. Yeah. Ah. Come on. All right. I think that was the last connection. They have some good colors. I just built a Voron V0, and honestly, after a day of working on Clipper, I ended up using RepWrap firmware. I'm going to be running the Pico board in mine, and the Pico board is only intended to be run with Clipper at this moment, so... What screw did I miss? Oh, I see. My Voron V 2.4 I'm going to be running Clipper on. Or not Clipper, RepRap. I intend to run RepRap on my 2.4. As far as Petg Made in America is concerned, I primarily print with Greengate 3D Petg, which is made in America, 100% recycled industrial waste, and made not too far from me in New York. So I have a bit of a relationship with them. They don't sponsor me or anything, but I like the folks, and so yeah. A friend of mine just got a Prusa. He wants to print ASA. ASA is great filament if you have a use for it. If you just want to print it just for the sake of printing it, it's kind of a waste of your time because it's a little more troublesome, but it's great for outdoor uses and things like that. My Clipper issue was the Pi kept crashing mid-print, and nobody could help me figure out why. That's annoying. What do you think about those Matco step-up bits? I hate step bits. As a former professional fabricator, I think step bits are largely a waste of time, and you're better off getting regular bits. I have step bits, but I use them for deburring holes far more than I do anything else. Good starter 3D printer. Anybody have a recommendation for one? I said it so many times, I made a sign. Creality, Ender 3. Yeah, I'm not a fan of step bits. They never make a particularly nice hole. They leave a lot of deburring needing to occur. I just don't recommend step bits. When I used to sell tools, I would always recommend people to buy a regular bit set, not a step bit, but, you know. Use Do It Pi when you do RepRap, and it makes RepRap so good. Cool, I will look into that. Thank you. I hadn't made much in the way of decisions. I just know I'll be running I'm going to be running a Raspberry Pi 4 on the... great content, appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you saying so. I'm going to be running a Raspberry Pi 4 on my Voron 2.4. I'm running a Raspberry Pi, oh hell, what's it called? The little one. The Raspberry Pi Zero V2 on my Clipper-equipped Voron V0. So, we'll probably be starting streaming, I think, next week of assembly of my Voron V0. This is almost like a test stream for that. RepRap is good, but it lacks in speed, and the Pi runs so much faster than the Do It board. Yeah, I'm going to be running an Octopus board, personally, in my 2.4, but yeah. Oh! Matco has those step drill bits, yeah. I've tried bits like those before. I really don't care for them. I always default back to just straight, traditional, 135-degree tip bits. Just, like, nothing I've ever found worked nearly as good. I personally say take your time, drill up, step up hole sizes, and any tips for leveling your bed. I have an entire video on TikTok about doing it. So go check out that video. It's in my new printer tips playlist. How's everything going? Wonderful! Playing with wiring over here, so... yeah. Having a blast. Alright. We've got all the old stuff out of the way. That went way faster than I thought it would. Now it's time to start figuring out installation of the new stuff. I've got this little cover here, which is intended to go up here, I designed. I gotta clear out a little hole here, it looks like. Let's switch camera angles. Boop. As I look for something to clear this hole out with. I knew I had clippers here. All right. So all of this is really in Phaetus. The company Phaetus sent me any filament suggestions for starting out. I've really been liking Polymaker filament lately. I've been pretty happy with that. So Polymaker would be my recommendation at the moment. My go-to recommendation used to be Inland brand from Micro Center, but unfortunately they've been having major supply chain issues lately, and I really can't recommend them anymore as a result. Okay, I've got to get a couple of T-nuts into here for this. I didn't really design this to be as user-friendly as I normally would for a lot of my designs because I just did it for myself. I might release this design if anybody really wants it, but it's not really something I intended for the masses. It's more for just, it's me for this project. Oh, ooh, I've only got a couple of M4s left. That's not good. Hey, when did you change accounts and why? My old account was banned in June. My old account was banned in June. And so, yeah, I had to start over. Wasn't a choice. As far as YouTube is concerned, I've been switching over to Mandic Really on this channel, doing more here because, well, a Hot Rod Hippie just was not producing, was draining the life out of me, I guess you could say. That's upside down. Genius. I designed this. You think I'd know which way it goes. Trying to thread the T-nuts into this thing. Oh, wait, no, it goes the other way. I know why I keep doing that. Seems like the T-nut should go on the bottom, but it doesn't. Thoughts on Snapmaker? Slow, loud, overpriced. Sorry to say. I've never seen anything off of Snapmaker that impressed me beyond like what a much, much more affordable machine can do. I'd highly recommend a Prusa over a Snapmaker, personally. You know, Snapmaker's neat in that you can laser cut and you can CNC route and you can do all that stuff, but most of the people I know who have them that aren't content creators don't use any of those functions. You're better off buying dedicated hardware for that stuff rather than a one-size-fits-all machine. It is not just a mainboard upgrade I'm doing. I'm doing a mainboard upgrade in this video, in here, but I'm also converting to dual extruders. I'm doing this because the folks at Phaetus sent me one of their TaiChi hot ends, which has dual inputs on it, and I can't picture you posting anything controversial. I don't. My old account got banned because of my Kyle Cup. Monster Energy drink launched a trademark claim against me, and TikTok banned my account because of it. Didn't even give me a chance to argue the point about it or anything. They just boop. The audio on YouTube is so much better. I would hope it is. You're looking at thousands of dollars worth of equipment on YouTube. So I'm glad to hear it sounds so much better, though. That's good to know. Okay, that is on there. This is not the main board. Oh wait, fuck. There's another piece I'm forgetting. I designed this. I should know what goes in here. Yeah, this is the mainboard holder that the mainboard is going to mount to, so those screws actually have to go through this. That hot end looks incredible. I am interested to see how it prints. You know, dual mixer type hot ends are really hit or miss. You know, getting them tuned in properly is going to be a nightmare. But I'm looking forward to the challenge, so. I should have the frickin' design pulled up here in front of me so I could see it, but yeah. Theory versus execution type of thing. Yeah, kinda. Like, it's a really neat idea. We shall see how well it works out. And it hasn't been released yet. There are other versions of the same thing out there. These hot ends that have, you know, mixing type tips on them or whatever. Have you tried working with Slice or E3D? I run the E3D V6 in my Prusa because that's what came in it. I'm really considering a Voron Revo, E3D Voron Revo for my Voron 2.4 build. As far as Slice is concerned, I just can't justify the expense for a Slice Engineering hot end. Actually, E3D just followed me on TikTok, and I want to reach out to them and be like, hey, about one of those E3D Revo Voron editions. Like, how about that? Can we make something happen? So, this is a tight fit. In you go! Come on. I designed this to be a slip kind of fit in here. And it's proving a little tight. Come on. There we go. Yeah. I bought a Big Tree Tech SKR Mini E3 for my Ender 3, and I hadn't figured out how to the firmware. Can you point me in the right direction? Load the firmware onto the SD card and put it into the thing, turn it on. That's pretty much it. KP3S versus Ender 2 Pro. So far, Ender 2 Pro. I really wanted to like that KP3S, but man, it's got a lot of problems. I work with Slice. If you want some help, let me know. Awesome, thank you. You know, I've got the unfortunately patent infringing hot end for my Voron V0, so I don't think they'll be too pleased with me. But it had some features that I liked, so I picked it up. But yeah. Love to know your top mods for an Ender 3. Compiling firmware is an extremely complex topic to be talking about. I've tried to do videos about it in the past, and it's too complex for me to do a video on TikTok about. I should really cover it on YouTube, and I will in the near future, hopefully. But that's the best I can say. It's way too complicated to cover on TikTok, even in a 3-minute video. So, alright, mainboard mount is in there. Now I need to... I think the next step should be mounting the actual mainboard in here. So let me switch camera angles again. My order got canceled. Why'd your order get canceled, Nick? Alright, I just need a couple of M3 screws for this. Which means I need to open up my M3 hardware bin. 1 second while I find it. Whoop. I don't know where all my M3 hardware is at the moment, so we're going to open up a new box. What's your email, Alan? It is alan@hotrodhippie.com. Alan@hotrodhippie.com. I was having trouble with prints, and so I replaced hot end with Mosquito. Turned out I just needed supports on the print. That sucks. That's a lot of money to figure out the cost of an Ender 3. Yeah, real world of DIY projects, exactly. Where did I put that? I have a whole bin of M3 hardware, but I think it's upstairs. Alright, these should be the mainboard up screws. You know what, I could probably reuse the stock M3 screws. Yeah, those look like they should work. Slice doesn't really follow social media stuff, that's why they have me. Hey, you know, handling social media stuff is a complicated business, so I don't really blame them on that. I follow them on Instagram, and I actually get text messages from them. That kind of annoys me, honestly, as a marketing technique, but, you know, it is what it is. All right. Mainboard is mounted. Oh, my wife canceled it. Sorry to hear that, Nick. That makes a little more sense. Oh, heck. Trying to get this in here is being a pain. The ADHD approach. If you have enough bolts around, you'll have what you need. That is a very, very fair argument. I've got like 4 sets of these like kits of metric hardware around because one of them will have what I need. I just upgraded my mainboard to the 4.2.7. Oh my god, it's silent. Yeah, it is a nice upgrade. That's actually what I just took out of this machine, is the 4.2.7 board. It's a solid board. I'm not taking it out because I don't like it. I'm taking it out because I need some different potential, or different things. Is it worth it if I have the 4.2.2? Is yours the quiet 4.2.2? Unfortunately, that does exist. But if it's not, if your stepper motors are pretty loud while it's printing, big upgrade if that in that realm, if nothing else. So, okay. So I've got this bracket that I designed here that is going to mount over here. Let's get this in. Bloop. And actually, I forgot. I've got a... I actually put a point on this bracket for installation of a buck converter, which I have a buck converter in here. So let me see about getting the heat shrink off of this. I know I have a frickin' razor blade around here somewhere. I just opened a box with it. Oh, there it is. Haha! I found it. Oh, heck. Anybody else having fun with just watching me run around like a nut? I feel like that's got to be entertaining in its own right. Oh. Ah! Are the Comgrow refurbs usually in decent condition? Could you pick up the frickin' light here, TikTok? Yes, in my experience, the Comgrow refurbs are just open box units. They're brand new. Everybody I've talked to who's gotten one has had the same instance that I did, which when I bought one myself without telling them that I was buying one, I bought it without telling them just to test out to see what I got, and I got a brand new open box unit. It was missing like one little part, but they're pretty good about replacing whatever might be missing from an open box, so yeah. I had luck with it. I cannot say that everybody will. Where on YouTube? Mandic Really. MANDICREALLY. YouTube.com/Mandic Really. Ah, come on. I, of course, used adhesive-lined heat shrink here, and it's really screwing me over at the moment. What mods are you doing? I am completely changing to a new mainboard of conversion of my own design. Alright, this is going to piss me off real quick. I might end up putting a brand new buck converter on this and saying screw it to this one. Yeah, this is way too glued in here. I'm going to switch this out to a brand new buck converter and lose this one. Alright, that's coming out of there. Now if I could only remember where all my buck converters are. I know I've got a pile of them here. I think they might be in this project bin. They aren't. I just started a bench, and you mean a benchy, and this thing is weird, issues with leveling, but it's printing fine. Yeah. Hey, Alan, just sent you an email? All right, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh. I've got to find where the heck I have buck converters. I've got a whole pile of them here. Question is where? I forgot I was going to need one, or I would have dug it out before the stream. Ah, there's one. Brand new buck converter. This is probably the most ADHD stream anybody's getting into in quite some time. Alright, I'm probably not going to get the wiring done in this stream, I don't think. But I will get this hooked up. Thank you very much I appreciate any contacts anybody can offer. That's the hardest thing in this industry, I think, is getting to know people and getting the right connections to people. If you want some help getting Do-It stuff, oh, that's interesting. I've been wanting to try out some Do-It hardware and really compare, like, how much better or whatever, is it worth it for versus the Asian imports. Alright. This thing is freaking hairy because it's Petg. Mandic really on YouTube. Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm playing the game of where's that safe spot that I put all this stuff. There we go. Alright, I put a little buck converter mount into here. Let me see if I can switch up camera angles for you folks. Yeah. I integrated a buck converter mount so I can adjust the buck converter and access it from outside. I just got to mount it up now. Yeah. Now I need a screw. Or two. A screw or two. Do-It and Slice sponsored your Voron V0 build. Awesome. That's really cool to hear. I know I saw that Slice sponsored Thomas Sunladerer's 2.4, and I know he's running a Do-It board with an expander board in his. It's nice to see when the community like really supports its own. All right. That is mounted up on there. God, this thing is hairy. I should have freaking hit it with a heat gun. What mod are you doing? I'm changing out to a completely different mainboard. This new mainboard will allow me to drive 2 extruders. Yes. That's the whole point of this is this mainboard will allow me to drive 2 extruders. Yeah. All right. Now that is together. Time to get this in place so I can continue on mounting all this crap. Oh. This is going to be fun. I forgot that I kind of designed this to slide on. Yeah. Come on. Oh, yeah. And of course I haven't, there we go. It's got to slip past on this side. And then, aha, the foot is in the way. Bye-bye foot. There we go. That's what I needed. Now, that all should fit. Cool. What a pain. Who designed this thing? Oh, right, it was me. Oh, right, it was me. All right. Do I have it long enough? Number 4? Yeah. I can slip a number 4 T-nut onto here. I think it's supposed to be number 4. Maybe I made that for number 3. I don't remember. Let's check. I got both T-nuts here, so we shall see. Do I have long enough ones? Only time will tell if I have long enough ones. What mainboard is that? This is the Robin Nano from Makerbase. Makerbase Robin Nano board. I have a handful of boards I could have used for this project, and the project where I intended to use this Robin Nano board at, I kind of abandoned, sort of. I'd still like to do it, but I can't justify it right now, so it's gonna find a home in here. All right, 2. There's 4 that hold this whole box that I designed on here, so. Ender 3 mods, welcome Ben. It is still a Marlin-based board. Yes, it still does run. I will be running Marlin firmware on this one. I could run Clipper on it, but I think I'm going to run Marlin. I don't feel like mounting a Raspberry Pi to this. So the thing that's different about the Makerbase offshoot of Marlin, it's a branch of Marlin, is their screens use like the graphic interface. If you ever played with an Elegoo Neptune 2, that's a Makerbase Marlin machine. Or uses the Makerbase branch of Marlin, I should say. Clip on. I made this a little too tight of a clip, but it's there. That's awfully close. Boop, boop, boop. Come on, clip together. I don't generally like making things that are supposed to clip together because it's hard to make everything fit, but it seems to be working. Oh, is your stuff still not been delivered, Ben? That sucks. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. All right. That seems to have gotten where I need to get. Now I need a 2.5. One. Nope. That one didn't catch. 2. That one's not really catching. That one is. And that one is. All right. I don't know if you folks can see anything better if I switch camera angles. Yeah, a little percussive maintenance gets it together. Do you recommend a Prusa? I want to print TPU, ABS, and Petg with direct drive. Yeah. For those wants, yes, the Prusa is an excellent choice. I'm not a huge fan of my Prusa machine personally, but with that list of wants, yes, I would recommend it. Though I would recommend printing ASA instead of ABS personally. I kind of like ASA just better. Personally. All right, there's that. Let's put some feet on this thing. One of these feet I designed that it actually kind of holds the I already have a Neptune 2S. So yeah, that makes sense. That'd be a logical step for you to go from the Neptune 2S. If you were looking for an upgrade, I would say a Prusa is a logical choice. All right. Little foot's going on here. I made feet that stand this thing up higher so that it will have more airflow underneath of it. Yep. It's a little deep in there though, so my electric screwdriver doesn't want to work. And now my M3 wrench is missing. Here's the other screw I need. But where's my M3 hex wrench? Oh, of course. Let's switch to the manual screwdriver from the electric. It's one of the problems. The electric doesn't always fit into the places I want it to fit. Not worried about dust buildup on the main board. No more than I would be with a regular Ender 3. It's similar configuration. In fact, the Ender 3 has the stock Ender 3 takes in air from the top, which I think is more likely. I want to build my own 3D printer. Do you have any print head recommendations? What do you mean, hot end wise? Or the design of the entire print head? You could always modify something like a stealth burner from a Voron to work and take a lot of that trouble off your hands. I noticed Marlin no longer supports the Maple branch. Owners of the motherboard with STM32 clone CPUs. Huh. I have not heard that. I believe you. I haven't heard that. What mainboards have those? I'm not familiar. All the mainboards I have legit STM32s to my knowledge. Thoughts on running Octoprint on a Raspberry Pi? I don't think it's the end-all be-all thing that a lot of people do. It's fun, it's neat, but I don't find a lot of use for it personally. It can add some nice, fun functionality to a printer, but I don't feel like it's necessary for a lot of people. You know, I run 9 printers, and only 2 of them do I run Octoprint on. I will run it more in the future, but yeah, I don't know. It's not really, it's a nice to have, not a necessary by any means. All right. I'm going to end up changing this a little bit because I want to change this all to be color. If you have multiple printers, sounds like a pain. I'm lazy. I don't know. It's easy. I find it easy. Doesn't really bother me. Huh. I run an SKR Mini E3 and I wasn't aware that it was a clone ARM processor. I thought mine was legit, but I really don't. I haven't paid that much attention to it. I believe you. I mean, it kind of almost surprises me that it wouldn't be a clone. So, yeah. Okay, I got the first 2 feet on there. Let's get the back 2 feet. I'm probably going to have to tap the back, actually. No, it is actually pre-tapped. Awesome. I wasn't aware of that. I expected I have to break out a tap to get this together. Yeah. Come on. This one back piece doesn't want to pop off. Move the microphone a little closer to myself. Okay, you're coming off of there whether you like it or not. This back cover doesn't want to pop off, and I designed the feet that I designed bolt into the ends of the extrusions. You can see one of them down here right now. Two more footies. I believe those are M4. Let's check. Yep. M4. I just oh, the front ones are different sizes. Shock and awe. Shock and awe. The handle on the bed could be used for a Pi camera mount. I do not use it for that personally. I don't care for that mounting position. But it could be. It's just so you can manipulate the bed on the Ender 3, really. Yeah, run poorly could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. I don't know. Can you connect multiple printers to your Octopi with one Pi? It can be done, but you possibly will overload the Pi, and or it's not straightforward. It's only intended to be run one machine, one Pi, which is part of why I don't do it, because I have too many machines to buy that many Pis for. The current supply issues with Pi make that more difficult. So, what printer do you recommend for beginners? The one I'm working on right now. Creality Ender 3 is my go-to recommendation. And for you folks on YouTube, that probably looked backwards, because it's intended for the selfie camera on TikTok. That's so expensive. Holy moly, that makes sense. Oh yeah, having that many Pis, yeah. What printer do you recommend for experts? Where are you streaming to other than YouTube? TikTok, currently. I've got my phone streaming to TikTok right now. That's all. TikTok and YouTube-y. What do you do for long-term filament storage? I'm designing a new system. Currently, you can see them sitting on the shelf back there, which is not the greatest thing. PLA doesn't really matter. PETG is a bit of an issue. What printer do you recommend for experts? I mean, for true, like, legit experts, yeah, a Voron is an interesting one. I don't know if I recommend a Voron or not. I haven't run one yet, you know. I'm building two of them, but I haven't run one to say whether or not I really like the Vorons, so... My current recommendation for an upgrade from the Ender 3 is the Focus Tech Odin 5, like you just got, Nick. And step up from that is the Prusa i3 Mark III's. And I really don't have a recommendation over that. How do you care for PETG? I've got some, well actually that is all PETG up on the shelf there. I just dry it before I use it. It's pretty dry in here. I've got a heater running constantly. I've actually got a dehumidifier behind me running that does not collect any water. Because it's just legit pretty good in here. You can actually grab a Ender 3 at Micro Center for $99. Yes, if you are a new Micro Center customer. I tried to do it, and unfortunately, I'm not a new customer, so I couldn't do it. The second tank kit looks awesome, looks dope. Yeah, I don't really know what I like the look of that one. The rat rig looks like a pretty good option. So I don't know about that second kit. It's neat, it's interesting, but I don't know about that. Have you seen my message on Patreon? I really haven't been on Patreon much lately, Nick. Sorry. Like, I've just been so damn busy with this tattoo shop build that we're working on. that I have not had enough time for anything. Like, I wanted to have this upgrade that I'm doing right now, this modification, done last week. And so I could get this YouTube video made, and it hasn't happened yet. I have 2 resin printers. Is the Ender 3 V2 a great printer? I'm not going to say it's a great printer. It's a great place to get into FDM printing. It's a great place to start and a great place to learn. You can upgrade it, you can modify it, you can turn it into a great printer, but it's a good place to start. That's my recommendation. So, all right. Feet are on. Things nice and stable. Rad. The tattoo shop floor, has it been a headache? The floor was a major headache we weren't expecting. And then jacking up the floor was another big headache, but yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of cool... That's legit what I would say. Expert machines, to me, means somebody who's going to be able to, like, mess with, modify, upgrade, work on the machine. And as such, I recommend like an open source project where you build the machine so you're like intimately familiar with it. How fun is seeing other people's spaghetti on lives? Honestly, I don't like it because at this point, I pretty well expect that every live I see where they have a failure is them doing it for views. Because people love to watch that. They love to be like, dude, you're failing. Hey, you're failing. And they get a lot of traction because of it. So in my personal opinion, I really, really question if any of them are legit actual failures or if somebody didn't cause the failure to get views. So if I see one of those streams, I turn away. How do you get an Ender 3 at Micro Center for $100? You have to be a brand new customer. And you have to find a coupon online. There's a coupon that you can redeem at the store. This back foot's not tight. There it goes. Yeah, you have to redeem a coupon, which I was ineligible for, so I can't really tell you how to get it. And depending on the store, it might be good, might be out there. Never been there. Good. New customer, go for it. You have to go in person. They don't sell a lot of stuff online. It's one of the lovely and also annoying things about Micro Center. It's how they can afford, or they can get away with selling things at cheaper prices. Wish I had a Micro Center here. I am so happy I do. The last couple of places I've lived, I've had a Micro Center, and it's been so great to have. All right, we've got the main box installed. The main board is on. It's not wired. The feet are on. I wonder what I should do next. I would have to try to fail like the spaghettis. Well, a lot of people don't have very dialed in machines, so that's a good point. But yeah. So I don't know. I didn't even think about it. The very first time I saw one of those failure streams, I was like, oh. I was like, oh, that sucks. Sucks to be that person. And then somebody else pointed out, they're like, oh, they're just doing that for views. And I really thought about it for a minute. It was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. So, who knows? I'm sure there are legit, just straight up failures, but it kind of makes a lot of sense that they would be doing it for views. Kind of makes a lot of sense. Oh, let's get the extruder mounts up on top of this thing. That way I can figure out the wiring to the extruders, because I'm going to be mounting both extruders on top of the frame. Helps if I actually put the T-nut on here. Questions about bed adhesion. I did a full 3-minute video on bed adhesion on my TikTok new printer tips playlist. Go check it out. Continued search for hardware. I just had one in my hand, I thought. Oh, that hurts my shoulder. There's one. I don't see the heart. Oh, it's on the machine. Ha 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 ha. I did have more fails using Creality glass bed. PEI is my savior. I agree. I hate glass. Hate, hate, hate glass beds. PEI for life. Well, until the next cool thing comes out. But I agree. PEI is my go-to. The only machine I've had luck with glass is my Focus Tech Odin 5. Don't know why. That's been pretty good. Love the feet and enclosure for the board. Thank you. If you're missing anything, borrow it from the Prusa. I don't say I'm not tempted. Don't tempt me with robbing things from that machine. Beep, 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 beep. Somebody's honking in the alley outside of the studio. It's very nice of them. Very kind of them. All right. Let's get these screws on top of here. So I can get these extruder mounts up on there. All right. I'll almost certainly release the design for this this modification that I'm making here, even though I don't really recommend it for anybody. I'm doing it, like I've said, for a very specific project and a very specific reason. It'd be hard for me to recommend anybody actually do this swap. That one's not really fitting in there, right? There we go. Go. T-nut, T-nut, T-nut. This one's not in there, right? There. Now they're all in there. All right. Have you replaced your fans to attempt quiet on? Yes, almost all of my machines have quiet fans. This one has a Noctua fan on the hot end, and it will have another Noctua fan on the main board now, and I will be modifying the power supply to use a 120mm fan on this as well, with a mount setup of my own design. You can find on thangs.com. Thangs.com/MandicReally. All right. We've got the feet on it. We've got the extruder mounts on the top. I might as well... I can disassemble the extruder off of here and get that mounted on top. Woo! Still filament in there. I knew there was, but... Alright. Now I gotta get this extruder off. Knob off. I'm not going to be running this metal extruder on the new build. I'm going to be switching it up to a BMG style, a BMG clone. What part cooling duct upgrade did you run? On my Ender 3, I'm running... On my other Ender 3, I am running a... Hero Me Gen 5. Where'd that go? Ah. I'm running a Hero Me Gen 5 on my other machine, and I quite like that. I'm not in love with the setup, but it works. Gets the job done. So yeah, Hero Me Gen 5. I think they're on to Gen 6 now, actually. And I need a smaller bit. Do you use glue stick? I do not. I use Magigoo. It's a similar idea. but it's a product that's supposedly designed specifically for 3D printing. Magigoo, it's called. That is what I use. I use a lot of that. I'd love some experienced advice on how I'm doing so far. Awesome. You know, some people have suggested I should do a critique stream, like where I just help troubleshoot how prints are doing and how people's prints are going and if I spot any problems. I'm really considering trying to do that. Should have held that up. I'm considering trying to do that. I want to do it as nicely as I can. You know, I don't want to rip on people. I just want to help people. So, yeah. But you can always email me too. Alan@hotrodhippie.com. Email me and I'll be glad when I have the time to help you out and respond and see if I can give some advice, tips, pointers, whatever. So Alan@hotrodhippie.com. Oh, I gotta get the little gear off of here for the metal extruder. I would pay for that. Well, I'll probably do it as either a Twitch stream or a YouTube stream, so you could always do like a super chat. I do not have a Discord server. No, I'm too old for Discord. Legit. I'm from the generation that we had chat rooms already, and I don't want to go back to them. So I'll have no time to monitor and moderate a Discord, so I don't do anything with it. So sorry, nope, no Discord. All right, extruder is off of there. Means I can lose this little piece of plastic too. I don't need that anymore. What software is best for beginners? Check out my new printer tips playlist on YouTube. Or not on YouTube, sorry. If you do a stream with the advice angle, I'd love that. Awesome. I will definitely look at that and I'll make an announcement about it when we do it. So a lot of people have said they'd like that, so I think we will do that. What was I gonna say? Love to have a live stream critique. Awesome. What was I thinking? I don't remember. Sort of like J2 with his I rate your rigs. Yeah, kind of like that. He mostly does it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love Jay's videos. And so yeah, like that idea. You know, it's not like somebody else who gets more sensational and really rips on things. No, more of a like, okay, well that's not the way I'd have done it, or here's what I see wrong, here's what I would recommend kind of thing. Yes. Somebody recommended I do it as like kind of a rip on things, and it's just not me. I'm not that kind of person, you know? I find it you can really help people learn if you are respectful and approach them as such. All right. What are you modifying? I am totally changing up the Ender 3 to a completely new mainboard. Okay. What's next here, people? Extruders, I guess. Gotta mount the extruders up top. Ugh, the new extruders. I don't see myself getting to wiring in this stream, unfortunately, because I know I'm going to be changing out the hot end, the heater element, and the thermistor. And I'm going to have to like redo the wiring harness on the hot end, so that's going to have to happen at another time. Okay, I need the extruders for this, which I believe are in a box. I will be right back. What's the mainboard enclosure you used? My own design. Everything on this is my own design. There we go. Found them. Pair of BMG clones here. This pair of BMG clones is what I intend to use for this setup, because it's the only thing that I have two of, honestly. Only thing that I've got two of, so let's go with it. If I slice something dead center in Cura, but it doesn't print in the center, what's wrong? Cura is either has your bed dimensions set improperly, or your offset, your home offset, is set improperly. Could really be either or. Little hard to say which. Little hard to say which. So let me see if you guys can see a little better if I switch camera angles. So let's see. Alright, putting together this BMG clone. I gotta get this spur gear mounted onto here, but I don't remember what depth it's supposed to be at. And of course, being a clone, it has no good instructions. Direct drive brand recommendation for Ender 3 Pro. I generally don't really recommend direct drive conversions unless you have a specific need for them. In which case, Microswiss makes an okay one. BMG makes a really nice setup. I'm not a big fan of them. That's all I can really say. Yeah, default Cura setup for Ender 3, it kind of has the bed dimensions wrong. It always kind of does. Annoys me. Yeah, you can best printer for a beginner. Yes, Ender. Reality Ender 3. Alright. You folks aren't really seeing anything that way, so let's flip back to this camera angle. Nope, that's got to be way down on there. I think it's got to be all the way down on this. Little spur gear on this thing needs to be like down the bottom. Yeah, that seems to be about right. All right. Now I can see about mounting this. I don't know if these screws are long enough, but we'll find out. Check your printer machine settings, 220, 220. The Ender 3 is actually 235 by 235, and Cura usually has it as 220 by 220. So I usually recommend changing that personally. Yeah, these are not long enough for this mount. Boo! These aren't long enough. I don't have any longer ones here at the moment. They're in my other box. Does the Ender 3 recommend come with needed software for design? No, no machine at all comes with design software. I'm not aware of any machine on the market that comes with design software. That's a totally separate entity. Personally, I use Autodesk Fusion 360 for design work, and it's what I recommend. It's free for hobbyists. That fell off. It's free for hobbyists, and I don't know. I like it. It works pretty well for me. All right, folks, I'm going to set real quick a quick little hiatus intermission and go look for longer screws for this. I'll be right back. Yeah, Cura does set it that way for the bed clips, but I personally have bed clips on a couple of machines and I don't run into them. As long as you lay out things, set your designs on the bed properly, it's not really an issue. Okay, I will be right back after I switch to intermission.
Picking up your pieces, I'm done healing all your scars. You said we're done, but then next morning you regret what you said. Here we go again. You tell me we're just friends, but then you call me feeling sorry for yourself. You want me back and tell me that you need my help. Here we go again. So tell me where your friends at.
see if these are long enough. They're the same length. Damn it. Means I don't think I have long enough hardware to put this together. Oh, these ones are longer. Bam! These ones are longer. Thank you for the info. Awesome. Love to hear it. Let's check back to YouTube chat. It's supposed to be 235, 235. It should either be 220, 220 or 235, 235. I set it to 235, 235 personally. Because that's the actual size of the bed. That's what I do. I have 5 different kits or random M5 screws. Yeah, I've got various kits here. This is just the only one I know that has all the hardware I need, or the longer hardware. Bloop. There we go. All right. Bam. That is still loose. Means it's bottoming out in there, I think. All right. Awesome. I'll have to make a change on that. That's all right. That's okay. I can deal. Is it printing to the right or the left? Yeah, is it printing toward the front, left, back? What's it doing? It's all good. You'll realize you need an 80 millimeter. Yeah. These are probably 50 millimeter, 60. I'm not quite sure which. All right, second extruder. These came with mounts, but they're kind of cheesy. Kind of cheesy mounts. I'm glad I bought a 2-pack of these. I had no real reason to buy a 2-pack of them. I just did because it was like cheap. Oh, lovely. It only came with 1 spur gear. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it only came with 1 spur gear. That's what I get for getting a cheap one. To the right in front. Sounds like your home offset is wrong for some reason. I can't state why, unless it got changed somewhere in settings. Yeah, it looks like I'm missing a spur gear. Awesome. Can't put the other one on. I can put it on, but I can't do anything with it. I am technically doing a multi-material upgrade, yes. Oh, ow. Oh. There's a spare motor. I can mount this, but I've got no spur gear for it to actually function as an extruder, so that's annoying. I can't find any kits that don't have nuts or washers. I think all the kits I usually get have nuts and washers because I still find them useful from time to time. So, sorry, I don't know of a good kit recommendation offhand. I'm literally just going to mount this on here without the freaking gear. Just to, like, put it together. Doesn't serve me any purpose at the moment. That's annoying. The gear that should be on the extruder is missing in this kit. That's what I get for buying a cheap knockoff kit. That's what I get for buying a cheap knockoff kit. Major Nuka bottle in glow in the dark. Awesome. That sounds like fun. What are you modifying? I am making this Ender 3 a multi-material setup, technically. I'm putting multiple extruders on it. And a whole new mainboard to go with that. Whole new mainboard to go with that. Oh. All right, all right, all right. Cool. That is all together. Using BMG with Bowdoin tubes. Yes, I am. I will be using them with Bowdoin tubes because this is going to be a multi-extrusion hot end. A hot end with multiple extruder inlets on it. You don't use ABL. I have a BL Touch on this one, but I don't use it much myself. I'm not a big fan of auto bed leveling personally. Most machines, I just don't need it. And I've had pretty good luck with not having super tacoed beds. So, is that a WoW stick? This is a Magigoo stick. Stick of Magigoo. Unless you mean like the screwdriver I'm using. I don't know what a WoW stick is. Alright. We've got our dual extruders mounted up here. Oh, talking to Peter Cantors. Okay. That makes sense. Dual extruders are up there. They're not ready to use, but they're up there. Yeah. There's not a whole lot more I'm going to be able to get done in this stream, I don't think. Yep. I can work on mounting the screen. Though, I got to tell you, the print on the screen mount was pretty piss poor. The side rails can be replaced for taller projects. That can be done. It's not as simple as just doing that, but it is doable. Oh, this print is so bad. This is Petg that really needed to be dried. It's just funny, like most of the prints that I did with this printed beautifully, but this last one, it must have just gotten wet or something. It printed terribly. So much gunk and junk in here. Yeah, Artie, having that type of situation. What does the thing that connects with the hot end look like? Let me see where it is. Here is the hot end I will be running. This is the Phaetus TaiChi, and it has dual inlets for the extrusion for the Bowdoin tubes. So, dual Bowdoin tube inlets on it. This is the hot end I'm going to be installing on this machine. They sent it to me to try out, test out, whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I wasn't exactly excited about it when they reached out, but I was like, yeah, well, this is what I do for a living, you know, content creation, so I should play with it. Should give it a try. Oh, I did a firmware update from an external source. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't really recommend anybody like Gyres or TH3D firmwares. Like, nothing wrong, nothing against those folks, but it's just you have to do a purge tower. Yes, I will have to do a purge tower to get clean color transitions. Yep. Gyres had a known issue. Okay, well, that's good to... Glad this is getting worked out in the chat, because I have no experience with Gyres. I compile my own firmwares, and I haven't had that issue, so... And this is one of the hard times I have about like recommending things like gyres or one of those is just like as opposed to E3D. What about opposed to E3D? Clean looking hot end. It's a neat look. They really make their stuff look cool. I don't know how well it's gonna work. We'll find out. Cool. This is so nasty inside of here. All this Petg mess. I should have reprinted this, but it was like a 17-hour print, and I really didn't want to. Oh yeah, there's like a serious layer adhesion issue in the middle there. I'm going to end up reprinting this, but it is what it is. Trying to get all this gunk out of here. Stringy gunk. Any impressions of the Ender 3 S1? I have not worked with it to give any impressions on it. Sorry to say. They didn't send me one. And I am at the point where I have so many printers, I cannot justify buying one just for the sake of making a review at this point. It's just too much money to invest. I've got too many other projects, too many other things going on, so, yep. Alright, almost got this cleaned up. What's the difference between PLA and PLA Plus? Is it fine if we print PLA Plus using stock printer? You should be fine printing a stock printer with PLA Plus, but the difference can vary by brand. It's basically just PLA with different additives in it to give it different properties. And there's really nothing, honestly, there's nothing that really says what should really specifically be in PLA. There's no standard for this stuff, really. So I can't say. From one brand to another, it could vary quite a bit what's put into it. All right. That was a pain in my ass. Better to reflash. Can it be fixed manually? Is it better to reflash? I would say just reflash. You're not going to fix a firmware bug without reflashing. This has to go onto there. Like so. That's where the screen is going. Can't seem to fix a bad clog. Go check out, I did an entire clog video on TikTok. It's on my new printer tips video playlist, and that should help you. I want some new flush cutters. What printer do you recommend? The best flush cutters I've gotten from any company came with my Prusa. That's, you know. And if you just want a cheap set of flush cutters, get a basic Ender 3. Yes, on top here is Dual Extruders. Switching this up to a dual extrusion system. That's pretty good. I want some new flush cutters. What printer should I buy? I do have like 10 pairs of flush cutters floating around, cause printers. Alright, folks. I think that's probably where I'm going to end up ending it on this stream. Because from here on, it's going to be wiring, which is much more in-depth, and I probably really need to finish this $300 off at Harbor Freight. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to get complicated from here, and I really should start filming the full video at this point. Is the V2 better than the base model Ender 3? I recommend the Pro, usually. The only thing that I like about the V2 versus the Pro is the quiet motherboard. That's pretty much it for me, but... Getting my acupuncture business off the ground has been has had me buying so many printers. That is a lot of printers. That's a lot of printers. So, yeah, folks, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I've got to make some changes. I gotta contact the company where I got these extruders from and bitch at them about the lack of the spur gear. Didn't get a spur gear with one of the extruders I was supposed to, so I can't extrude. That's not gonna help me any. And firmware is gonna be way too complicated to do on stream, so I'm gonna have to work on dialing it in and getting it where I need it on this one. What mods do you recommend for an Ender 3 V2? I've been meaning to do a mods video. I should really get around to that. 1 second. But at the moment, I don't really have any good recommendations, unfortunately. I really like these handles, this bed handle. I'm a fan of that. So that's one thing I usually do on almost every Ender 3 or my Neptune 2 or any of that stuff. I really like this bed handle. Just it allows you to manipulate the bed without actually having to grab onto the hot bed. So, yeah. Good luck with that. Hey, I like you. Great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, K2, everybody in the YouTube chat. There's been excellent conversation going on there. While I've been busy, you folks have been helping each other out. I love to see that. Thank you so much for everybody. I love this community we have where we can be like helpful to each other and really get things going right. Any King Rune attention coming? I need to put some love into the KP3S. It's really not working properly at the moment. It's got a few issues that I need to work out either with the company or modify it myself to make it work better. And I really haven't touched it in a while because of that. I was kind of irritated with it. So, love the channel. Thank you very much. Any opinions on Bowdoin versus direct drive? For most people, Bowdoin systems, they require more tuning to get as good a results, but they work as well and can usually print faster. The need to go to direct drive is kind of overblown in my mind. So, thanks to you and K2 for the help. Awesome. Love to hear it. I hope that works out for you. Go reflash, see how it works out. Hopefully that fixes the issue you are having. All right, folks, I'm going to head out. I've got to go eat something and work on figuring out cleaning up the mess I just made in this stream. Putting away all these extra parts. Can anyone else use your designs to resell, or are they exclusive? There is a reseller program for my designs. If you join my Patreon on the merchant tier, you will be authorized to resell designs as long as you agree to the terms and conditions of it. They are not just open for anybody. They are covered by a Creative Commons non-commercial license. They are not just for anybody to sell. Advice on an E1 thermal runaway on an Ender 3. Most likely you have a bad thermistor or a wiring problem with your thermistor. I often see the wires get, what extruder mount are you using? I designed my own. I'll release it on Thangs later today. I'll put up the extruder mount on Thangs. The E1 thermal runaway, probably a thermistor issue. Go vegan! Hey, thank you for that, saying that in the chat. What was it? Yeah, either a failed thermistor or a wiring problem with the thermistor would be my guess for a thermal runaway. That's the most likely issue. I've had feeding issues and I've tried all your tips. What do you recommend? I'm sorry, that's such a, like, 1,000 things could be going on question that it's really hard for me to say. Feel free to email me. My email is on my links page. Go check it out. I'll help you if I can. I'm pretty swamped right now, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, best post-stream snacks. I'm going to go have some chips and onion dip, I think. I'm feeling chips and onion dip. I picked some up yesterday. I'm probably going to go chill out for a minute, take a break with some chips and onion dip, then come back in here and clean up. And I got to put a new window in my car because somebody smashed it out 2 days ago. So, yay. So, all right, folks. That's going to be it. I'm going to wrap up the stream here, head out. Look out for a YouTube video in the very near future on all the modifications that I'm doing here, covering it, overviewing what we're doing. The whole point of this upgrade modification that I'm doing, not really upgrade necessarily, is installing this TaiChi hot end from Phaetus for dual material extrusion, multi-material extrusion. So that's what's going to be happening. Love your palm tattoo. Did that hurt? Yes, it hurt a lot. A lot. One of the most painful tattoos I've gotten. So, yeah. All right, folks, I gotta hit it. I gotta go eat my chips and dip and take a little break before I get back to work yet today. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for being an active member of the chat, K2. Thank you to everybody, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.